If a woman locks eyes with you, here's what she's really saying: psychology tricks. Ever catch a woman's gaze and feel your whole body hit pause? 1 second you're fine, the next second her eyes land on you, and it's like the room gets quieter. Here's the truth most men miss: what you think that eye contact means and what it actually means are not the same thing. And if you keep reading it the old way, you'll keep reacting the old way, and you'll keep losing the moment. As Maya Angelou said, people will forget what you said, but people will never forget how you made them feel. That's exactly what her eyes are doing. They're measuring how you make her feel before she ever decides what she thinks. Most guys treat eye contact like a simple signal. She looks, you look back, green light, go. But that's the rookie interpretation. Female eye contact is often a quiet psychological exchange, a test, a scan, a reading shaped by instinct, experience, and yes, a kind of social intelligence that runs deep. Her eyes aren't just checking you out, they're checking your steadiness, your confidence, your emotional control, your intention. She's watching whether you collapse into neediness or stay grounded in certainty. And here's the twist that fits the title. Sometimes when she holds eye contact and then pulls away, or looks and suddenly goes quiet, it's not avoidance. It's fear of what could happen if she lets it go further. Because when attraction feels real, it can feel risky. So don't chase the moment. Don't oversmile, overtalk, or try to win her with nervous energy. Be calm. Be present. Hold the frame. Meet her gaze like a man who is comfortable in his own skin, then let the silence breathe. That's how you separate yourself from the average guy who reacts and become the man who leads the emotional tone. When you understand this, you stop hunting for signs and start creating safety, tension, and connection without forcing anything. And once you learn to read the eyes properly, you'll recognize the difference between a woman who isn't interested and a woman who's interested enough to feel threatened by her own feelings. 1. When she holds your gaze. When she holds your gaze, don't be so quick to label it flirting and call it a day, because in that moment, she's not just deciding if you're attractive. She's reading your foundation like a quiet professional running diagnostics on a machine that might become important to her life. That steady eye contact is one of the cleanest psychology tricks in real life. And it sits right at the intersection of female psychology and how to fall in love without feeling unsafe. Here's what might surprise you. She's measuring your emotional capacity, your authenticity, and whether you're mature enough to handle what lives underneath the surface. Because a woman who's learned anything from life learns to protect her heart the same way a smart person protects their money, carefully, quietly, and with receipts. Women don't wake up one day and decide to be guarded for fun. Experience teaches them. They've been rushed, dismissed, talked over, misunderstood, or made to feel like their feelings were too much, so they build defenses, not to punish men, but to preserve themselves. That is female psychology in its most practical form. She doesn't hand over access to her inner world just because the vibe is nice. And yet, as controlled as she may be with words, as polished as she can be with posture, the eyes leak truth. They don't always obey the script. Eye contact is where the truth slips out wearing no makeup. When she holds your gaze a second longer than necessary, she's often asking a question without speaking. Can I trust you with the parts of me I don't show everybody? That is not small. That is not casual. That is the doorway to how to fall in love, and she's standing there with her hand on the knob, waiting to see if you're stable enough not to slam it. Now here's where most men mess it up. Don't panic, just listen, because 90% of men respond like they're being tested in a classroom they didn't study for. They either break eye contact too fast, like the moment got too real, or they rush to perform, crack a joke, do the smooth guy routine, toss out a playful line to escape the intensity. And both reactions, yes, both, send the same message: I can't handle anything real. Not because humor is bad, and not because looking away is always wrong, but because the energy underneath is avoidance. You must understand this. When she holds your gaze, she's not begging you to entertain her. She's checking whether you can stay present without needing to control the moment. Don't turn it into a show. Don't turn it into a contest. Be calm. Be grounded. Let the silence breathe. That is the quiet confidence she's looking for. That is one of the most overlooked psychology tricks. The man who can hold steady eye contact without forcing, without collapsing, without performing, communicates safety without saying a word. And in female psychology, safety is not boring. Safety is magnetic. Safety is the runway where feelings are allowed to land. If you want to understand how to fall in love and how she starts falling too, watch what happens when you don't flinch from emotional depth. Hold her gaze like you can handle the truth. Not in a stiff, intense, I'm trying to win way. In a relaxed, I'm here, I'm present, I'm not scared of connection way. Because when a woman senses you're comfortable with sincerity, she doesn't have to protect herself as hard. She can soften without feeling foolish. She can open up without feeling like she's giving you a weapon. And the opposite is also true. When you get jumpy, when you rush to be witty to escape the moment, when you dodge the stillness, you accidentally confirm her fear. If I let this get real, he'll run or he'll play games. Don't do that. Be the man who can handle reality. Be the man whose eyes say, you don't have to hide with me. That is not about being perfect. That is about being emotionally capable. And yes, it's simple, but simple isn't easy for people who live on distraction. Modern life trains men to scroll, to joke, to deflect, to keep everything light so nobody has to feel anything too deeply. But connection doesn't grow in constant entertainment. Connection grows in presence. You must train yourself to stay present. You must treat her gaze like a conversation, not a spotlight. If she holds eye contact, match it, warmly, steadily, then let your words come from calm, not from panic. Say less, mean more. And if this is already opening your eyes, don't just nod and move on. Hit that subscribe button, because we're breaking down psychology tricks most guys never get taught, from female psychology to how to fall in love with clarity and confidence. And you'll want the next one too. 2. What's actually unfolding? Now let's talk about what's actually unfolding when a woman maintains eye contact with you. This isn't random. This isn't accidental. And it's definitely not a casual habit. It's an assessment, a quiet one, a powerful one. She's evaluating your emotional steadiness in real time. Can you stay grounded when the air gets charged? Can you hold your posture when the moment stretches a little longer than expected? Can you handle the weight of something real without shifting, fidgeting, or trying to escape it with humor? That is the test. Not of your looks, not of your status, of your internal stability. Here's the deeper psychology behind it. Vulnerability is terrifying for women, not because they're fragile, but because experience has taught them that opening up without discernment can cost them. Many have shared too much too soon and watched it be minimized, misunderstood, or mishandled. So they build emotional walls, not to punish men, to protect themselves. And yet, when she holds eye contact, that wall doesn't disappear, but a small window opens. Just a crack. Eye contact is that crack. It's her unconscious mind whispering, show me if you're different. Don't misread it. Don't trivialize it. That moment is sacred in ways most men never realize. Pay attention to the microsignals, the slight dilation of her pupils, the softening around her eyes, the way she glances away, almost as if the intensity surprised her, and then returns to you like she couldn't resist checking again. Each tiny movement carries emotional data: fear, curiosity, longing, uncertainty, hope, all layered together without a single word spoken. This is where understanding psychology tricks and female psychology becomes a serious advantage, because most men are listening for sentences while she's speaking in silence. Don't rush the moment. Don't interrupt it with performance. Be steady. Be calm. Let the eye contact breathe. That is masculine energy at its most attractive. Not loud, not exaggerated, controlled, centered. A high-value man does not scramble to fill every quiet second. He understands that silence is not emptiness. Silence is tension. And tension, when handled well, is how you attract women without chasing them. When you hold her gaze without flinching, without staring aggressively, without trying to win, you communicate something powerful. I can handle depth. That is what she's searching for. Not perfection, not charm, emotional capacity. A high value man radiates that capacity without announcing it. He doesn't say, "Trust me." He demonstrates that she can. Here's the contrast you must understand. If you panic and look away too quickly, the message becomes, "This is too much for me." If you jump into jokes or try to impress her in that exact moment, the message becomes, "Let's keep this light so I don't have to feel anything real." Both responses close the window she just opened. And she may not consciously think he failed, but something in her will quietly retreat. That is how subtle attraction fades before it even begins. This is not manipulation. This is awareness. When you understand female psychology, you stop reacting blindly and start responding with intention. You realize that how to fall in love isn't about grand gestures. It's about handling small, intense moments correctly. Eye contact is one of those moments. Be present. Slow your breathing. Relax your shoulders. Hold the gaze with warmth, not challenge. That is masculine energy refined. When she senses steadiness instead of tension, she feels safe enough to lean in emotionally. And safety is the gateway to how to fall in love. Not fireworks, not drama. Safety. The man who can decode this silent language is already miles ahead. While others are trying to impress, he is observing. While others are trying to talk their way into attraction, he is allowing emotional gravity to do its work. That is how a high-value man naturally attracts women. He understands that connection deepens in stillness, not noise. You must train yourself to be comfortable with intensity. Don't treat eye contact like a spotlight you need to survive. Treat it like a bridge. She steps onto it halfway. Your job is not to run across. Your job is to stand steady so it doesn't shake. That is the difference between a man who chases and a man who draws people in. When you begin to recognize these psychology tricks, not to manipulate, but to understand, you stop second-guessing yourself. You stop mislabeling her interest as avoidance. And you start realizing that sometimes, when she looks at you and then looks away, she's not pulling back because she feels nothing. She's pulling back because she feels something real. Be the man who can handle that. Be grounded. Be patient. That is how to fall in love without losing yourself. That is how you embody masculine energy without forcing it. And that is how you quietly position yourself as the high-value man she didn't expect, but suddenly doesn't want to lose. If you understand this, you don't panic. You don't overtalk. You don't chase. You stay grounded. Because when she holds eye contact, she's not testing your lines. She's testing your emotional strength. She's asking, without words, "Can you handle me when this becomes real?" And the man who can stay calm in that moment wins without forcing anything. So if you're ready to be the man who doesn't flinch under intensity, drop this in the comments right now. I stay steady when it gets real. Like the video, subscribe for more sharp psychological insight, and remember, eye contact isn't pressure. It's opportunity. 3. The different types of eye contact. The different types of eye contact. This is where most men overthink, misread, and quietly sabotage opportunities without ever realizing it. Let me make this simple and clear. When she gives you the quick glance away, she looks at you, instantly looks down or to the side, then sneaks another look. That is not rejection. That is internal tension. That is attraction meeting caution. That is interest colliding with self-protection. She is not avoiding you. She is regulating herself. She is asking internally, is this safe? Is he steady? Is he different? Your only move in that moment is composure, stillness, an iron mind. Don't chase her eyes. Don't smirk nervously. Don't overreact. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. That moment is a test of your mind, not her feelings. If you hold your frame, you communicate strength without saying a word. That is Old Stoic wisdom in motion. That is Stoicism when in real life. Now understand the extended gaze. When her eyes linger slightly longer than normal social timing allows, she is not just flirting. She is evaluating. She is measuring your emotional temperature. She is scanning for insecurity, arrogance, neediness. She is asking, can he handle depth? Can he handle me? This is not the time to puff your chest or perform. It is the time to be grounded. Breathe slow. Keep your posture relaxed. Let your presence speak. In modern life, where attention spans are shattered by screens and validation is hunted through apps, sustained eye contact has become rare. When a woman holds it, she is stepping into vulnerability. If you meet that gaze calmly, you separate yourself from 90% of men instantly. You demonstrate an iron mind. You show that you are not shaken by beauty, not destabilized by attraction, not intimidated by intimacy. That steadiness is magnetic. That steadiness is Stoicism win. Then there is the unwavering lock. Direct, sustained, unapologetic eye contact. This is big league energy. She is no longer just curious. She is being brave. She is opening a door to her inner world without speaking. And here is where most men fail. They either break eye contact too fast, communicating doubt, or they overcompensate with exaggerated intensity, communicating ego. Both close the door. The correct response is simple. Stay present. Relax your face. Slight, controlled smile. No rush. No tension. No performance. As Seneca said, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Most men lose these moments because they imagine pressure that does not exist. They imagine judgment that is not happening. They create fear where there is only opportunity. Listen carefully. Her eyes can broadcast excitement she will not verbalize, anxiety she is trying to mask, and a real question about whether you are different from every man who misread her before. Your job is not to decode every micro-expression like a detective. Your job is to embody stability. When you live by Old Stoic wisdom, you do not react emotionally to small signals. You observe. You remain centered. You let her feel safe stepping closer. In today's dating culture, fast texts, mixed signals, endless options, emotional steadiness is rare. That rarity is power. That is Stoicism win. Remember this clearly. If she looks away quickly, she may be containing feelings. If she holds your gaze longer, she may be evaluating depth. If she locks eyes steadily, she may be inviting connection. None of these require you to chase. None of these require you to impress. They require presence. They require an iron mind. Strong men are not the loudest in the room. They are the calmest under pressure. They do not rush connection. They allow it to unfold. They do not force chemistry. They create space for it. Repetition is important here. Stay calm. Stay grounded. Stay steady, because attraction grows in emotional safety. Attraction deepens in controlled energy. Attraction expands when a man is unshaken. When you master this, you master more than dating, you master yourself. And a man who masters himself never has to chase signals again. He reads them. He responds with composure. He wins quietly. That is Old Stoic wisdom. That is Stoicism win. That is the power of an iron mind. 4. The fatal errors. When a woman locks eyes with you, understand this first. You are not in a casual moment. You're in a silent conversation, and most men lose that conversation before they even realize it has begun. Knowing what is happening is only half the game. Knowing what destroys it is where maturity shows. The first mistake is looking away too fast. Don't break first. When you drop your gaze immediately, you communicate discomfort with depth. You signal that intensity rattles you. In the world of female psychology, sustained eye contact is not random. It is one of the subtle psychology tricks that reveals confidence, steadiness, and emotional control. She is not just seeing your face. She is measuring your presence. You must understand that holding eye contact calmly, without tension, tells her you can handle emotion without collapsing into it. The second mistake is rushing to fill the silence. That quiet pause when her eyes stay on yours is not awkward. That is the moment where connection either forms or fractures. Most men panic and start talking too much, joking too hard, explaining themselves into oblivion. Don't do that. Be still. Let the silence breathe. Silence is not emptiness, it is space. In female psychology, that space is where she evaluates whether you are grounded or easily shaken. These psychology tricks are not about manipulation. They are about awareness. If you cannot sit in 2 seconds of quiet intensity, how will you handle real intimacy? The third mistake is reducing it to simple physical attraction. Yes, attraction may be there, but if you think it is only about desire, you miss the deeper layer. Eye contact at that level is about emotional safety. It is about trust. It is about whether you can navigate complexity without turning it into drama. Many men think they need to be impressive in that moment. They try to perform. They try to entertain. They try to prove value. Don't perform. Be present. That is what she is actually looking for. She wants to know that her unspoken emotions, the ones she barely understands herself, will not overwhelm you. She wants to feel that if she opens up, you will not retreat. This is one of the most misunderstood psychology tricks in how to fall in love. Love does not begin with grand gestures. It begins with emotional steadiness. Consider her perspective. She did not arrive at this moment casually. She built emotional protection over years of experience. Every time she holds eye contact a little longer than normal, she is taking a risk. She is lowering a guard. If you respond with impatience, surface-level comments, or nervous energy, the door closes quietly. Not dramatically, just quietly. And you may never know why things cooled off. Understanding female psychology means recognizing that what looks small is often significant. A few seconds of eye contact can carry more weight than an hour of conversation. So don't rush. Don't force. Don't overcomplicate. Be calm. Be grounded. Be the man who can handle intensity without turning it into chaos. That is how to fall in love the right way. That is how attraction deepens instead of burning out. When she locks eyes with you, she is asking a silent question. Can you meet me here without losing yourself? Your job is simple. Stay. Hold steady. Let your presence answer for you. And if you have ever misread a moment like this, learn from it. Growth is power. Awareness is power. Master the moment, and you master far more than eye contact. If this opened your eyes, don't just scroll past it. Like the video, subscribe for more real insight, and share this with a man who needs to understand what's really happening in those quiet moments. Then drop this in the comments to lock it in your mind. I hold the gaze. I stay calm. I lead with presence. If you've ever broken eye contact too soon, filled the silence out of nerves, or mistaken depth for simple attraction, this is your reset. Comment that sentence below and own the moment next time it happens. 5. What you should do. When a woman locks eyes with you and holds that gaze for just a second longer than polite society requires, understand this clearly. She is not casually looking at you. She is measuring you. She is not playing games. She is reading your nervous system. She is not asking for performance. She is searching for steadiness. Most men misread this moment because modern life has trained them to react fast, talk fast, impress fast. But attraction is not speed. Connection is not noise. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us in his timeless reflections, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That is Old Stoic wisdom, and it applies directly here. When her eyes meet yours, the first instruction is simple: stay grounded. Do not fidget. Do not glance away as if you have something more important to check. Do not rush to fill the silence. Just exist. Hold your posture. Breathe slowly. Let your shoulders settle. Your stillness says more than any clever sentence ever could. It says, I am centered. I am composed. I have an iron mind. And in a world addicted to distraction, a man with an iron mind stands out without trying. Step 2. Subtly mirror her energy. Notice the small shifts in her expression, the softening around her eyes, the slight lift at the corner of her mouth. Respond, but do not imitate like a clown. A gentle nod, a quiet warmth in your own gaze. That is emotional intelligence in action. As Epictetus taught, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Listening with your eyes is part of Old Stoic wisdom. You are not forcing chemistry. You are allowing resonance. Step 3. Honor the rhythm. Do not rush the connection. Do not push the conversation into deep waters just because the eye contact felt intense. Let it unfold. Let the silence breathe. Let the moment stretch naturally. Patience is power. Patience proves you are not chasing validation. Patience proves you are not desperate for approval. In today's culture of instant messaging and instant gratification, patience is rare. Rare is attractive. Rare signals value. As Seneca wrote, "He who is free. Brave enough to wait. Brave enough to not grab. Brave enough to let her come closer at her own pace." That is Stoicism win in real time. Step 4. Radiate safety through your entire being. Relax your jaw. Keep your breathing slow and steady. Let authenticity replace performance. Your body speaks before your mouth ever does. If you are tense, she will feel it. If you are scattered, she will sense it. But if you are calm, deeply calm, she will relax without knowing why. That is not manipulation. That is regulation. And emotional regulation is one of the most attractive qualities a mature man can develop. Remember this truth: she does not need you to solve her life. She does not need a rehearsed line. She does not need a story about your achievements. She needs proof that her vulnerability will be respected. That is the entire equation. Women have learned through experience that opening up can carry risk. So when she locks eyes with you, she is asking silently, "Can you handle depth? Can you stay steady if this becomes real? Can you remain present when emotions rise?" If you break eye contact too quickly, if you start over-talking, if you joke to escape intensity, you signal discomfort. But if you hold your frame, calm, grounded, composed, you send a different message. You communicate, "I am not overwhelmed by connection. I welcome it." This is where Old Stoic wisdom becomes practical power. Stoicism win is not about suppressing emotion. It is about mastering it. It is about having an iron mind that does not collapse under pressure. Eye contact is pressure. Intimacy is pressure. Attraction is pressure. Most men crumble because they have never trained their inner world. Train it. Practice presence in everyday life. When you speak to a colleague, maintain steady eye contact. When you listen to a friend, do not check your phone. When you feel nervous, breathe instead of reacting. Small disciplines build a strong foundation. A strong foundation builds confidence. Confidence builds attraction. And understand this clearly: confidence is quiet. It does not beg. It does not chase. It does not perform. It simply stands. As Marcus Aurelius also wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Be the man who can hold a gaze without losing himself. Be the man who can feel intensity without panicking. Be the man who can sense chemistry without forcing outcome." In modern dating, where everything is filtered and curated, authentic presence feels rare. That rarity is your advantage. When she locks eyes with you, she is not demanding perfection. She is scanning for stability. She is wondering if your strength is real or just surface-level charm. Show her it is real. Show her through stillness. Show her through measured breathing. Show her through relaxed posture. Repeat this to yourself. Stay grounded. Stay calm. Stay present. Again, stay grounded. Stay calm. Stay present. This repetition builds the iron mind. This repetition builds the man who does not flinch under emotional weight. And here is the deeper layer most never see. Eye contact is a gateway to vulnerability. If you can handle the gaze, you can handle the conversation. If you can handle the conversation, you can handle the connection. If you can handle the connection, you can build something meaningful. But it begins with that silent moment. Do not waste it. Do not rush it. Do not sabotage it with insecurity. Let your presence speak. Let your steadiness reassure. Let your composure lead. This is not about controlling her reaction. Stoicism teaches us to focus only on what we can control: our thoughts, our responses, our character. You cannot control whether she feels attraction. You can control whether you show up as a centered man. That is Stoicism win. That is power without aggression. That is strength without pressure. And if you practice this consistently, something shifts. You stop fearing intense moments. You start welcoming them. You stop performing. You start embodying. You stop chasing connection. You start attracting it naturally. An iron mind does not mean a cold heart. It means a disciplined one. It means you choose your reaction instead of being ruled by impulse. So the next time a woman locks eyes with you, remember, she is not testing your lines. She is testing your stability. She is not asking for entertainment. She is asking for presence. Give her that. Hold your ground. Mirror gently. Move patiently. Radiate safety. Do this not once, but every time. Master this not for her, but for yourself. Because the man who can remain calm in the intensity of attraction can remain calm in the storms of life. And that man, steady, centered, grounded, wins far beyond romance. He wins in relationships. He wins in leadership. He wins in self-respect. That is the quiet victory. That is Old Stoic wisdom alive in the modern world. That is Stoicism win. 6. The deeper layer. When a woman locks eyes with you and holds that gaze just a second longer than what feels casual, don't rush to label it as simple attraction or a random moment. That is surface thinking, and you are not here for surface thinking. You are here to understand the deeper layer, because the men who truly understand female psychology know that eye contact is rarely just about chemistry, it is about revelation. In that silent exchange, she is not merely looking at your face, she is measuring your emotional steadiness. She is testing whether you can handle depth without turning it into a performance. She is, in subtle ways, revealing fragments of herself she does not casually show to the world. Think about that. Longing she hasn't admitted out loud. Confusion she hides behind competence. The quiet fear of being hurt again. The cautious hope that maybe, just maybe, you are different. This is where psychology tricks often get misunderstood. Many men search for clever lines, calculated pauses, rehearsed charm. But the real psychology tricks that work are not manipulative. They are grounded in awareness. They are rooted in understanding female psychology at its core. A woman wants to feel emotionally safe before she feels emotionally open. So when she maintains eye contact, she is not asking, "Are you impressive?" She is asking, "Are you steady? Are you present? Can you see me without trying to control me?" Don't make it about your ego. Don't immediately think, "Does she like me? What's my next move?" That reaction shrinks the moment. Be still. Be observant. Be grounded. Because in that gaze, she is searching for validation, but not the shallow kind. Not validation that she is attractive. She already knows when she is attractive. She is searching for validation that her inner world matters. That her complexity is not too much. That her emotions are not inconvenient. That she can exist fully, without being simplified or judged. That is the deeper message behind sustained eye contact. And when you understand how to fall in love in a mature, grounded way, you realize that love does not begin with fireworks. It begins with being seen. Truly seen. Eye contact, handled with awareness, creates bonds because it signals, "I am here. I am not intimidated by depth. I am not running." This is where the difference between average and exceptional men becomes crystal clear. The average man sees eye contact as a green light or a red light. He reduces it to a yes or no signal. He reacts quickly, often nervously. His thoughts revolve around himself. Exceptional men see eye contact as dialogue. They notice the micro movements, the subtle softening around her eyes, the quick flicker of warmth, the brief shadow of vulnerability that crosses her face before she masks it again. These signals are involuntary. They cannot be fully rehearsed. They cannot be fully hidden. And when you respond to those signals with respect instead of strategy, you demonstrate rare emotional intelligence. That is not manipulation. That is mastery. Real psychology tricks are about self-control, not control over her. If she senses impatience in you, she retreats. If she senses steadiness, she relaxes. Female psychology responds to emotional safety the way a flower responds to sunlight, gradually, naturally, without force. So don't push. Don't overtalk. Don't break the moment with nervous energy. Hold the gaze calmly. Let your face communicate quiet confidence. Let your posture say, "I am comfortable here." Because what she is evaluating is not your words, it is your nervous system. Can you stay grounded when intimacy begins to form? Can you handle intensity without turning it into pressure? This is how to fall in love in a way that lasts, by creating an environment where vulnerability feels safe. The most powerful men in relationships are not the ones who speak the smoothest lines. They are the ones who listen with their entire presence. They sense what is unspoken. They meet vulnerability without flinching. They respond with patience instead of urgency. That is strength. When she locks eyes with you and does not look away immediately, she is saying, without words, "Show me who you are when things get real." She is asking, "Will you stay steady if I let you closer?" That is not a small question. And most men answer it incorrectly because they rush. They try to escalate. They try to impress. But depth does not respond to speed. It responds to stability. If you want to understand how to fall in love in a way that builds trust instead of tension, you must learn to treat eye contact as sacred territory. It is not a battlefield. It is not a test you pass with cleverness. It is a bridge. Cross it slowly. Cross it consciously. When you become the man who can hold space for her hidden emotions without trying to fix them, without trying to dominate the moment, you become unforgettable. Not because you were flashy, not because you were loud, but because you made her feel understood. Women do not just want someone accomplished. They want someone capable of emotional depth. Someone who will not disappear when the conversation shifts from light to meaningful. Someone who can navigate complexity without shutting down. This is the core of female psychology that so many overlook. Attraction opens the door. Emotional safety invites her inside. And eye contact is often the first quiet knock. So when it happens, don't squander it. Don't reduce it. Be present. Be calm. Be intentional. Let your gaze communicate, "I see you. I respect you. I am not afraid of your depth." That is how real bonds begin. That is how to fall in love without losing yourself. And if this perspective shifted the way you see those silent moments, then you are already operating at a different level. Stay here. Stay aware. Because when you master these subtle psychology tricks, not to manipulate, but to connect, you stop chasing validation and start becoming the man women naturally trust. And that changes everything. 7. The aftermath of the moment. The aftermath of the moment is where the real game begins, and this is exactly where most men lose their footing without even realizing it. When a woman locks eyes with you, you think the story lives inside that electric second, but it doesn't. That is only the opening note. The real message unfolds after the gaze breaks. This is where psychology tricks and female psychology quietly step forward and start speaking in a language most men never learn to read. So don't obsess over the spark. Watch the echo. When the eye contact ends, ask yourself, did she look away slowly, almost reluctantly, or did she snap her eyes down to her phone like she needed an escape? Did she adjust her posture and open her shoulders, or did she subtly fold into herself? Did she glance back a second time? That second glance is rarely random. Be clear about that. It is verification. She is checking if you stayed steady. She is measuring whether your presence felt grounded and calm or tense and desperate for approval. This is female psychology in motion. And if you understand these psychology tricks, you begin to see that attraction is not built in noise. It is built in restraint. Most men react too fast. They smile too wide. They rush to fill the silence. They lean forward as if the moment might disappear if they don't grab it. Don't do that. Don't chase the gaze. When you chase, you collapse the tension that was working in your favor. You must understand that attraction often intensifies after the eye contact ends, not during it. If you remain centered, if you stay unreactive, her mind starts doing the work for you. Curiosity grows in the quiet. Mystery expands in the space you refuse to clutter. That is one of the most powerful psychology tricks hidden inside female psychology. When you don't immediately pursue, you create emotional contrast. You signal that you are comfortable whether she looks again or not. That common difference is magnetic because it suggests self-sufficiency. Now pay attention to the second glance. A woman who looks back is not just admiring you. She is reassessing. She is asking, did he flinch? Did he panic? Did he try too hard? If you held your posture, if your breathing stayed steady, if your expression remained relaxed, you passed a silent test. Be composed. Be still. That is what communicates strength without saying a word. In the realm of how to fall in love, emotional safety comes before excitement. Many men think intensity creates connection. Often, steadiness does. When she senses that you are not thrown off by a moment of intimacy, she begins to imagine what being around you might feel like. And imagination is powerful. It is one of the hidden drivers in how to fall in love. Here's the nuance that changes everything. Attraction grows in unanswered questions. If you lock eyes and then instantly pursue, you answer every question too quickly. Mystery disappears. But if you allow the moment to end naturally, if you turn slightly away and continue with your life as if nothing dramatic just happened, you plant a seed. Her mind starts replaying the moment. She wonders why you didn't rush. She wonders if you're selective. She wonders if you even notice the depth in her gaze. And in wondering, she invests emotionally. That is female psychology at work. You must give her space to lean in mentally. High awareness focuses on what happens after the spark fades. Most men stare at the flame. The rare man studies the smoke. Did she adjust her hair? Did she shift her weight toward you? Did her lips part slightly as she looked back? These microsignals are subtle invitations, not guarantees. Don't overinterpret them. But don't ignore them either. Be observant without becoming obsessive. That balance is key. When you understand these psychology tricks, you stop reacting blindly and start responding intentionally. You stop asking, "Does she like me?" and start asking, "Did I remain grounded?" Because your state matters more than her signal. And here's something deeper. Women are often cautious with eye contact because vulnerability has a history. When she holds your gaze, she is stepping into uncertainty. When she looks back after breaking it, she is testing the emotional climate you created. Was it calm? Was it safe? Or was it pressured? This is why How to Fall in Love is not about dramatic gestures. It's about micro moments handled with maturity. A steady presence can feel safer than a charming speech. A relaxed posture can feel more attractive than a rehearsed line. That is not theory. That is lived female psychology. Don't rush to validate yourself. Don't treat eye contact like a trophy you won. Treat it like a doorway you may or may not walk through. When the moment ends, let it end with dignity. Continue your conversation. Sip your drink. Check your watch. Show through your body language that you are not dependent on the outcome. This restraint creates tension in the best way. And tension, when it is not forced, becomes emotional gravity. She feels it. She may not consciously label it, but she feels it. That feeling lingers. The moment ends. The real story begins. That is the layer very few men understand. Eye contact is the invitation. The aftermath is the evaluation. If you can master yourself in those quiet seconds after the gaze breaks, you shift from being just another face in the room to being the man she replays in her mind later. And when you understand these psychology tricks, when you respect female psychology instead of fighting it, you stop trying to force connection and start allowing it to unfold naturally. That is how to fall in love without chasing. That is how attraction deepens without noise. Stay calm. Stay observant. Stay centered. The spark is common. The echo is rare. All right, my friend, I truly appreciate you being here and investing your time in this conversation. That already tells me something about you. You're not just looking for surface-level attraction. You're looking to understand what's really happening beneath it. And that matters. So before you leave, let me leave you with this. The next time a woman locks eyes with you, don't treat it like a random moment. Don't brush it off. Don't rush to fill the silence. And don't let your nerves take control. Pause. Breathe. Stay grounded. Because when she holds your gaze, she's not just looking at you, she's measuring your emotional stability. She's asking, without words, can you handle death? Can you stay calm when things get real? Can you be present without trying to impress? That moment is not about charm. It's about composure. It's about whether you can remain centered when the energy shifts. Notice the micro expressions. Notice the silence. Notice how your body wants to react, and instead, choose awareness. Choose steadiness. When you respond with calm confidence, when your presence is relaxed but strong, when your eyes communicate safety instead of neediness, you separate yourself from the crowd. Most men react. Very few men remain grounded. And the man who remains grounded becomes unforgettable. Remember this. The power lives in the pause. The magic exists in true presence. Real connection doesn't start with words. It starts with emotional control. Train that. Practice that. Master that. Because when you can hold space without losing yourself, you don't just transform her experience, you elevate your own standard as a man. Thank you again for watching. If this opened your eyes in any way, make sure you subscribe for more psychology breakdowns that help you move with clarity and confidence. And before you go, drop a comment and share your biggest insight from this video. I read them. I pay attention. And I'll see you in the next one.